The Beach Bum is a comedy from director Harmony Korine. Wait, that doesn't sound right. The Beach Bum is a new movie from Harmony Korine and stars Matthew McConaughey and a few other people who also wanted to get paid to party. The Beach Bum follows a free-spirited poet named Moondog who always seems to be extremely positive and likes to get super high. Stuff happens to him in this movie. There are scenes involving other people. People like Jonah Hill, Snoop Dogg, and Zac Efron. And after an hour and a half, the movie ends. So I'm not the biggest Harmony Korine fan. I like some of his earlier movies, but they're usually overly simplistic, and I like things like, I don't know, a story. One of the things this film has got going for it is that it looks pretty and stylish, and watching Matthew McConaughey improvise his scenes is also a lot of fun, for a while. Because you can only take stylish imagery and improv acting so far before it starts to get old. After about 30 minutes of watching Moondog getting high for the 17th time, there's still no sign of any kind of narrative. The movie has a few funny moments with great actors like Jonah Hill, but those moments are scarce. And it's pretty obvious Harmony Korine didn't really direct his cast, he just led them off the chain. There are hints of character development, but the movie never gets deeper into it. It all feels very shallow and very empty, and because of that, you don't care about what happens to any of these characters. Somewhere around the second act there is a very thin plot, which I'm about to spoil, so if you care about that, skip to this time code. But honestly, who cares? So Moondog's wife, played by Isla Fisher, is very rich and at some point she dies in a car crash. Which was, by the way, a terrible death scene. It was like something out of a soap opera. She leaves all her money to her husband, but only if he writes a new book. It's sort of like the movie Brewster's Millions, but really dumbed down and not funny. Matthew McConaughey also doesn't have an arc in this film. Stuff happens to him, but his character stays the same. Now that isn't necessarily a bad thing, if you're a good director. The film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas also involves a free-spirited protagonist with no story arc. It was based on the somewhat autobiographical novel by Hunter S. Thompson, who was similar to the character Moondog. And just like The Beach Bum, Fear and Loathing doesn't have a clear narrative either. Just like the novel it's based on, the story is all over the place. The big difference is director Terry Gilliam knew exactly what he wanted to do, and that's why the film is so unique. He shows the effects of drugs in this movie by changing camera angles, adding special effects, great sound design, lighting, you name it. Korine does not. Gilliam also does something different with each scene, so it doesn't become repetitive, it keeps you on your toes. Korine repeats the same trick over and over for an hour and a half. I guess the point I'm making is I don't think Harmony Korine is a very good director, or a good writer. He's a good cinematographer, but I'm not buying his bullshit. The Beach Bum is like a music video. It has no structure or pacing or basic storytelling, and it's totally devoid of any kind of meaning. And that's not the worst thing in the world if you make it interesting to watch. But Harmony Korine presents it like it's this great work of art. He calls himself the most uniquely American filmmaker. He actually calls himself that. So maybe I'm a little biased because he's such an arrogant prick, but judging this movie as a comedy, like it says so in the poster, The Beach Bum is a half-eaten sandwich.
It's yes, with the outside. Wow.